Welcome back to another exciting episode of California Sober, baby. We are back with another fight breakdown. This episode, we'll be talking about the most recent UFC that just passed, UFC Florida. It was at the Kaseya Center, Miami, baby. This featured a light heavyweight championship bout. Jiri Prochazka, I can't pronounce that last name. Jiri versus Carlos Ulberg. This is for the vacant light heavyweight title. And man, was that card freaking stacked. My phone's been going off. A bunch of my friends have been hitting me up, asking if I saw the fights. They just want to, just talk about it and whatnot. I didn't see it last night. I was busy. I went and busted submissions. I work in media, so I do like other shows for a company called Wind Up Media. So I was out in LA just filming that stuff, and then I hung out with my client afterwards out in LA for a bit. So I didn't get to see the fights, but I saw them this morning. Shout out, Paramount. But yeah, we are back with another breakdown. Before we get into it, though, I have some stuff that's been sitting. Just some MMA news. I honestly want to start doing like a segment where I just talk about like MMA news and rumors and different stuff from the fight world. I haven't been able to start that. I want to do that like once a week. But right now, as it is, I'm filming for my show, at least I'm doing at least 2 episodes a week. It's like I do my interviews, which is like my main thing. That's like what I love to do. And then I'll do like these fight breakdowns, right? So if I were to do like a news thing, that'd be 3. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to fit the news into these other shows so I don't have to do a whole other thing on it. Maybe I should do like a 10-minute episode just on the fight news. Who knows? But anyways, let's get into this fight news real quick and then we'll get into the UFC card, right? So first thing on my list, Darren Till parts ways with Misfits Boxing. Darren Till, he was with them for about a year. He had 3 fights with them, all of which were dubs. And he just, he pulled out of Misfits. He didn't re-sign with them. And he kind of mentioned that he had some big fight news coming up. I wonder, so I wrote this like almost 2 weeks ago. I just haven't gone around to talking about it. I wonder if he has revealed what the news was. Let's see. Pause. Not pause. All right. Let's see what we got here. According to, what is this? Irish Mirror. The Irish Mirror. You know what the hell is up with the Irish Mirror? Darren Till set sights on fighting Conor McGregor after signing contract. The Liverpudlian, dude, is that on a freaking another link? Liverpudlian put pen to paper. Oh, dude, was that a real word? Is that a made up word? I don't know. Pen to paper on a deal with bare knuckle fighting championships this week and is already eyeing up some big names in the ring. Darren Till reveals a list of potential opponents for his bare knuckle future and says he would welcome a showdown with Conor McGregor in a bare knuckle fighting championship ring. That's pretty interesting. I'm actually kind of down with that. I feel like Darren Till is a lot bigger than him though. No, well, I mean Darren Till did come down. He fought Cerrone. Cerrone's the same weight class. Was the same weight class as McGregor. It could happen. Darren Till's a big boy though, dude. Damn, that's some big news though. If he does, everyone wants to fight Conor McGregor, dude. Conor McGregor is still the freaking GOAT after all these years, after all the blow that he's done, off of all the cheating on his wife scandals. He is still the man, bro. Isn't that? It's so crazy how Conor McGregor just ascended fighting in general. It's like he's totally part of pop culture at this point, you know. But next thing that I want to talk about. Joshua Van out of his fight with Tara due to undisclosed reason. Let's see what's up with that. Let's see if we've gotten any news. In the news, anyway. So, according to ESPN, UFC flyweight champion Joshua Van's first title defense will be pushed back to next month because of a minor injury, officials announced Saturday. So do they mention the injury? I mean, it's got to be pretty minor if he's not. Yeah. I mean, it says minor, so it's probably nothing too serious. I think what it is he got injured, probably something like feels weird, and he just was like, I mean, it's to defend his belt, so he's probably like, I don't want to go into the fight like and risk losing the belt when I'm already compromised. I get it. I get the move. It's a professional move to make, but it's not a fighter's move to make. And it's not something the fans are probably going to like, but I understand where he's coming from, you know? I was really excited for that fight, but you know what? I think this is a good sign because I really think the UFC, is that event happening? That's not happening in Japan, right? I should look into it, but I really want to push the UFC to do a card in Japan, bro. ONE FC just signed a lucrative deal with Japan. They're doing at least one show a month in Japan, and I think this would be a good opportunity for the UFC to enter Japan and I guess see who gets Japan, bro. Japan is so for those of you that don't know, there's two big markets in martial arts, right? So you have the United States market, the USA market. That's the biggest market. If you're in the USA market, you're gold, right? And then you have the Japanese market, and that's like the second biggest market. So if you're gonna survive as a fight promotion, then you need to either take the USA market or the Japanese market. If you could somehow get both, then you're gold, right? But no one's really been able to solidify both, right? So the UFC tried to take on the Japanese market when they bought out Pride many years ago. I don't know if you guys don't know what's up with that, but UFC, they bought Pride. They thought that they were acquiring all of the contracts that Pride had for their fighters, but the thing is, Pride never really had like a long contract, multiple fight contracts with their fighters. They normally would sign people to like a one fight deal type deal. And that was it. So essentially when the UFC bought Pride, what they were purchasing was their archive of fights. So they just retained the rights to basically upload the Pride fights, which is great, bro. That's a great deal because honestly, the Pride fights were freaking awesome, bro. Was it worth what they paid? Probably not. Let's see the numbers real quick. All right. Let's see what we got here. So the UFC allegedly paid for Pride for less than 70 mil. What does that even mean? That's still a lot of money to me, bro. But they basically, let's say 60 mil. Let's say it felt like 60 mil, right? They basically paid 60 mil to just have archived fight. It was kind of a bad deal. For those of you that don't know anything about Pride was ran by the Yakuza, it's like a Japanese way of saying gang, right? So the Japanese gangs ran Pride, which is why it was like the Wild Wild West, baby. That's why they pushed their fighters to take, steroids. They would pay their fighters in cash. It was great. It was the Wild Wild West. But so they, they're criminals. They hustle, and so when this thing came up, they did what they did. They hustled. It is what it is. That's on the UFC for not reading the contract, I guess. But in any case, next thing I'm gonna go through. Joshua Vance. So he's out of his fight to Tara. Conor McGregor announces his return to fighting, possibly against Jorge Masvidal. That would be incredible. I also heard a rumor that it might be in either bare knuckle or Gamrot fighting. Gamrot fighting just passed, I think, on Friday, by the way, or yesterday. I think it was on the same day as the UFC. It was on Saturday, maybe. I'm gonna watch that after this. Actually, I should maybe do a video on that. But yeah, Conor McGregor announces his return. He's been saying that a lot lately, though, so I would take that with a grain of salt. But this could line up with what Darren Till said. That's interesting. Here's another cool little tidbit. Alex Pereira posts his KO loss to Israel Adesanya as tribute to Israel's return to the UFC. So like I said, I wrote this, like some of these facts a while back. This is when Israel came back. Who did he fight? He fought Joe Pyfer. He lost to Joe Pyfer. But anyways, Alex Pereira, I noticed he's a cool dude, bro. He'll chop it up with people that he fights with. Like when he fought, what's that? Sean Strickland. Like there's a lot of videos of him in Strickland training. He went out to Strickland's camp out in Vegas. Who's he training with? Camp spacing. God damn, it's not working right now. Need some more. Actually, it's because I didn't get good sleep. I didn't get good sleep last night. But yeah, he went out to Vegas, trained with Strickland. Then Strickland came out to Pereira's camp and trained with them. He's cool. He's a wholesome dude, bro. Alex seems like a tight dude. But yeah, next news. Let me see here. All right. Here's something that I've been speaking on for a while, and people have been coming at my neck when I bring this topic up. I don't know why, dude. People are so touchy when it comes to ONE FC. But here's some news. ONE FC. One championship, I'm sorry, it used to be called ONE FC. I know him from back in the day, but one championship shutters strawweight division releases signing reigning champion. So ONE FC has basically publicly said that they're going to be dropping their strawweight division. They didn't say why, but I've been saying for a while now, they're just hemorrhaging money. It's like that promotion is just not doing well. It's hard to compete with the UFC. When you enter the MMA market, it's like you have to go full sail ahead in order to get noticed, just because you have the UFC You had Bellator at the time, and then you have all these other promotions like UNF out here and LFA. I just know some of the ones out here, but I know in Europe they got like Cage Rage or what is that? King of the Cage and all that, right? So ONE FC, when they first started, they spent so much money on promotion. They were giving out a lot of money for contracts and tournaments that they were doing. It cost a lot, and the idea was to spend and grow. I think Chatri, he was trying to take the same route that you see tech companies take. You'll see like an app come out or something like that, and they spend all this money, and they basically try to get money they spend a lot of money, and they tried to get money through investment rather than get money through its actual paying customers. And that might work for tech sometimes, but that's not a good model for an MMA promotion. Anyway, so for a long time, I've been saying that they might go away soon, dude. And there's a lot of signs, right? It's like the fact that they don't have MMA fights that much anymore. Like you can literally count on the calendar how many MMA fights. I mean, if you go look at the calendar, you can count with like both your hands how many fights through MMA events they're going to have all year, right? And I'm talking about like full MMA events. Like they'll throw 1 or 2 MMA fights in their like Muay Thai fights or kickboxing fights. But ask yourself, when did they have like an actual MMA event? I can't remember. It's been a while. And the reason for that is just because it costs more money to pay MMA fighters than it is Muay Thai fighters. Muay Thai fighters come from Thailand. They're poor. The consensus is you're going to make less in Muay Thai. So it would seem that Chatri is putting on more Muay Thai and kickboxing because it saves the promotion money, right? And aside from that, if you noticed, a lot of the ONE fights have been happening in Lumpini, right? And the reason for that is because Lumpini, it's a big stadium, but it's a cheaper big stadium out of like the big stadiums in Thailand, right? And like right now, the big one is RJS, like Raja Stadium, right? Raja Stadium, they went through like a bunch of construction, like I think 2 or 3 years ago, and it looks so good, bro. It's like a mini sphere. They have like TVs on the ceiling everywhere. It's a whole vibe when you go in there. LEDs, it's clean, it's nice. That's right now the top stadium, and so the fact that did they do a event in Raj? I don't think one has done an event in Raj, and I think Raj wouldn't even care to have them because Raj has really been pushing their own brand, and so they're doing a lot of streaming and things like that. I would love to get put on the Raj team. I would do their American broadcast if they're down. I want to broadcast for someone. Someone hire me. You don't even have to pay to fly me there. I'll watch the fights live and then just, speak on the mic and have that broadcast onto the American broadcasting channel. I'd be down. That'd be cool. But anyways, so yeah. So for, like I said, it's for a while. It just seems like, ONE's been doing bad, right? And last but not least, for those of you that did not know this, Nico Price just recently fought Michael Chiesa. That was for Michael Chiesa's retirement fight. Apparently it was also Nico Price's retirement fight, and no one even knew. I didn't even know. I was a fan of Nico Price, and I didn't even know. He apparently was told after his loss to Michael Chiesa, it was a quick loss too, first round loss. Someone had told him like, hey, we're going to give you the mic after Michael Chiesa, then you can go ahead and, give your words and whatnot. They apparently didn't give him the mic, and yeah, that was sad, bro. Especially because Nico has always been that guy that will step up, He'll take the short fight call, and if you go look at his record, it didn't work out for him most of the time. But he was just that guy. He was the guy that would step up and stuff. So kind of sad that, they just cut him like that, to be honest. Yeah, it was kind of sad. But anywho, so that's that for my MMA news. Let's get into the actual fight card now for the UFC. I don't know. You guys think I should split this into another segment? This was already like 20 minutes of me talking. I don't know. I don't know, gang. Anyways, where was I? All right. So what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. We just witnessed one of the most chaotic, emotional, and flat out legendary nights in UFC history. I'm telling you, these UFC cards with Paramount have been freaking stacked. We saw an end of an era with a retirement KO. We saw a heavyweight title changing hands through a blown out knee. I wouldn't say changing hands because it was vacant, so I don't know. That was a bad typo. I don't know why I put that. I try to dramatize all these, and we saw some serious fight of the night contenders. There was a lot of banger cards on that fight, bro. It's your boy Mo. This is California Sober Podcast, baby, and we are here with another fight breakdown. So So let's get into it. First fight, I kind of like wrote a lot about. There's a lot of great fights on this card, so I'm gonna have a few. I try to condense them into very like one paragraph each, which was so freaking hard for me, bro. It's so freaking hard. It's just I have so many thoughts, man. I smoke. You know what? Before we even get started, take a little hitty of the smoky. Try to do it off camera so YouTube doesn't get butthurt. I have a problem getting too high, and then I just start rambling. We're currently testing. We're trying to replace a bunch of our strains at my work, so we have like all these new things we've been testing. That's some of the Zope. I really like the Zope. It's like might be a keeper. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, let's get into it. So first fight I want to talk about is Vicente Luque versus Kelvin Gastelum. Vicente Luque, I like Vicente Luque. He's a great striker and he has great submissions. He's only got like 1 or 2 submissions, but he lands them very well. He does it really good. He's like an anaconda choker and like a Darce, I think. But he's got great striking. His boxing has always been good. He's the number 14. Is it welterweight? Let me see what. Damn, I didn't write what weight class that was in. Damn, didn't write the weight class. I think that's welterweight. Let me see. I'm sorry, gang. That was a middleweight fight. Why did I say welterweight? A middleweight fight. Kelvin Gastelum. I've always liked Kelvin Gastelum. You know, he's Mexican. I'm Mexican. He has an just do it attitude. Just gets in there, tries to get the job done. No excuses type ish. Great wrestling. He's got good boxing, and he uses his boxing well to hide his takedowns. And for a bigger guy, he actually moves really well. But honestly, he could be a smaller guy. I think he did move. He has been trying. Lately he has been kind of keeping his weight down. He looks a little bit more fit than in the past. I think he's kind of like realized that like he needs to really tighten that stuff up because he was fighting some big ass guys for a while, dude. But yeah, Vicente Luque, he's the number 14 in the division. He's got a 23-10-1 record. Kevin Gastelum's got an 18-10 record. We started the main card with 2 absolute dogs. Really did. Vicente Luque, man. He's been out in Florida. He's been training with legendary Ernesto Hoost. That's one of the reasons why I was excited for this fight was because he already, Vicente Luque already had good boxing. He had decent kickboxing and stuff, but since moving to Florida and working with Ernesto Hoost, I knew he was going to soak that up like a sponge. Ernesto Hoost, if you do not know who this guy is, he is a freaking savage. He is known as Mr. Perfect, a legendary Muay Thai fighter. He came up in the golden era of Muay Thai. He was one of the Dutch fools that there's a group of Dutch fighters that literally moved from Holland to Thailand just to train Muay Thai. And they really did a great job at fusing like Muay Thai with kickboxing at the time, and that creating I guess did Dutch kickboxing exist at the time? I might have, I don't know, but they did a great job at fusing that with the European kickboxing, and you saw some great fights and great styles come out of that era. Think of Raymond Deckers, all that whole group of people. Mr. Perfect, bro, go watch his fights. His low kicks are so gnarly, bro, and he's a big buff guy. But yeah. But you can see the influence that Hoost left on Luque, man. Immediately, his Muay Thai was just textbook, bro. You saw Vicente come out. Yeah, the high guard, light front foot, low kicks. It was just textbook, really balanced. Thai fighters, they like to stand straight up instead of having their feet wide, kind of like boxer wrestlers type of stuff. So they're always standing up, and it's just you notice it, right? And just heavy strikes, bro. Gastelum, he looked sharp early though. He was using that classic wrestler boxing rhythm, mixing up his 1-2 combos with level changes. That's the one thing about Gastelum though. He hasn't kind of really evolved. He's kind of always been doing that 1-2 shoot thing. It's been working pretty well for the most part. I mean, he does have good hands though. He'll mix it up with boxing, sometimes he'll throw uppercuts and whatnot. But a lot of his game is 1-2 and then single or double. But yeah, Gastelum though, he got a little too aggressive in round 1. He lunged in with a combo, and Luque was just super just aware of what was coming at him. I think he's sent his head off. He shot his head off in a different direction, a little. I'm freaking starting to feel the marijuanas already. He slipped the punch, right? And as he slipped, he threw that uppercut, just classic, that's a classic counter to a straight punch is that. Slip your head off the side and throw an uppercut. It set Kevin's equilibrium to the freaking moon, bro. His head just flew back. And dude, Gastelum, he hits the deck and Luque is just swarming him, bro. Honestly, there was pretty a little bit of ground and pound, but honestly, like he mostly went for like the neck, dude. He locked in like I think it was like a Darce. Was it a Darce or like Anaconda? I can't remember, but he locked in a submission, squeezed it, and Gastelum had no choice, bro. He tapped, bro, and that's like Luque's bread and butter. Like I said, his Anaconda and like Darce. I can't tell the difference between an Anaconda and Darce all the time, guys. I get the Anaconda, you're straight out more. The Darce is kind of harder to see what you got, you know. But I think it was a Darce though, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. Gastelum had no choice, but he tapped round 1, bro. And that was the freaking opening card, bro. Luque, baby. Luque is back. Gastelum, I don't know what's up with Gastelum. What do we do with them? I think he can lose a little more weight. I think he can go down another weight class. But yeah, that's just me, bro. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to move on. Try to keep these short because I got a long way to go, baby. Got a lot of cards I'm going to talk about. The next fight I got to talk about, this is card making headlines right now, and I'm gonna straight up tell you guys I might be biased because I speak to this fighter. I wouldn't say we're like friends or anything. I haven't met him in person, but we speak online a lot, and whenever I message him, he replies, I guess. And I am friends with his cousin who trains with them. This is I'm speaking on Chris Taco Padilla, and he came in fighting Marquel Maderos. Maderos. Sounds like, okay, I'm thinking of that dictator that got arrested. This was, Chris Taco, man. I love Chris Taco. He's representative of, Southern California. He goes up to the stage and, he represents all of us and stuff. He trains out here in Inglewood. He's at CMMA for the most, is it CMMA? Let me see. Okay, I think it is CMMA. I think it is. It's a good gym, bro. Good gym. But yeah, he's cool and I like his style, dude. He's been fighting for a long time. But yeah, this fight was crazy, bro. I'll get into it when I get it. I want to just go straight to the end, but I gotta talk. I gotta do my due diligence. But yeah, Chris Padilla, he's coming in with a 15-6 record. Maderos has got a 10-2 and this fight, man. Talk about some drama-filled matchup, man. Maderos, he's been training with Benson Henderson and Jared Cannonera over in Arizona. Cannot remember the name of the gym. I did not write it down. I'm sorry. So you already know, if you know those guys, Benson Henderson, he's like kind of pushes a lot. He's really big on cardio, if you know his style and the guys that comes out of his camp. He has like an insane. One of the things he does when he gets new students in, like professional fighters, he'll like make him go through like this thing where like he'll make him go through like the gutter with wrestling, right? And they'll have to personally wrestle Benson Henderson after wrestling a bunch of people. In the Arizona, I don't know if this is a rumor, but I heard they don't have the AC on or none of that. And it's just basically Benson's trying to see if you'll break. That's the whole point of it, So it's just like I said, he favors the gas tank. That's like a big tool that Benson Henderson has used in his career. But Padilla, he's coming in undefeated in the UFC. He did miss weight for this fight. But this was a short notice fight. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Chris Padilla fought like not too long ago for some other promotion. I think it was like a few days ago or like a week ago. Let me look into that real quick. Okay, I thought he fought recently. I might be wrong on that. I might have gotten confused. But it was a short notice fight. I think it was like a week or two. I can't remember how short this fight was. It was short notice. Padilla, bro, he fought with some beautiful, Padilla, another Muay Thai guy, bro. He literally had, he's an MMA guy, but he goes to Jumbi for his Muay Thai, and Jumbi is in his corner. So he's always got his Muay Thai coach with him in his corner. But yeah, Padilla came in with that just beautiful high guard, light on that front foot, just like Vicente Luque, bro, with a lot of low kicks. Padilla throws his low kicks a little different. He likes to he mostly just touches you with the low kicks. It's more of just like something to set up like the harder strikes, So he just kind of like touching you. I don't know how much he's throwing with them. I mean, it could be a lot. But yeah, he just coming up. He's got that little sneaky rhythm where he's just throwing like a jab, little kick, and then he'll sneak in a power shot. He just was constantly in Maderos' face, man. I think the first round, he did this thing that I noticed he kind of did a lot in that first round was he would throw like a light jab, and then he would use that jab to frame, right? So he'd throw the jab, keep the hand out there, frame, and then he would, when his opponent tried to counter, he would kind of move over to the side and come over the top with like a heavy overhand. He did it on more than one occasion. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was curious to know if that's like a a thing he trains or if that's just something that popped up during the fight. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good fight. It was a dominant fight in my personal opinion. Maderos really didn't have it much, dude. At one point, he tried to wrestle Padilla because Padilla was just freaking all over him, just constant pressure, volume. Maderos tried to level change into a takedown, and dude, like literally, like Padilla like stuffed it immediately. It was like that first round, like was all Padilla, Taco. Round 2 was a literal slugfest. Padilla was ripping body shots to the ribs. Odd choice of target or not of weapon he was using. He was throwing body shots, but he was using his right hand to hit their left side of their body. Normally if you're orthodox, you pretty much want to throw the body shot to your opponent's right side, which would be your left hand, and the idea behind that is because it's like you have your liver, so it's like you can drop them with the liver and shut everything down. That's why people favor the left kick. They favor everything from the left side when it comes to the body, right? I'm not sure why he chose to use the right hand on the opposite side. Curious to ask him one day. Maybe try to break ribs, or I don't know. Maybe just try to hit the gas tank. But whatever it was, bro, I mean, it was kind of working, bro. Maderos was getting hurt, bro. He was getting pieced up, bro, and elbows and knees. Towards the end of the second round, I think Maderos, he ended up cutting Padilla with like an elbow. It was just a clean up elbow, bro. And part of the reason that it landed like that was just because Taco was too aggressive, bro. All he was doing was coming forward, when you come forward like that, the main counter to that type of aggression is going to be elbows, because you're literally just walking forward into them. So, your opponent doesn't have enough room to punch unless they keep backing up. And even if you do, you're backing up and then you're punching. That kind of requires like a solid foundation of attacking on your back foot, because it's like you're not going to be getting as much power. So it's like you have to step into it a certain way to maximize the power you're getting on your back foot. Elbows, though, no matter what, you just shoot them and they're there, baby. They're just there, bro. So yeah, he got cut pretty gnarly in that second round. But where was I? But yeah. Oh yeah, and then I think it was in round 2. There was a moment where Padilla took Maderos down, and Maderos literally grabbed the fence like twice, dude. Honestly, it looked like Maderos was like kind of like just trying to survive. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Not even trying to be disrespectful. It looked like he was just trying to survive. Third round is when Maderos really started to come alive, though, and he just was like, "All right, I'm gonna plant my feet and we're gonna bang it out." Third round was absolute war. He did. So there was a eye poke. Maderos poked Taco in the eye in the second round, and then he poked him again in the third round. The second time that he poked him in the eye, he actually got a point deduction from the judge, right? So keep that in mind. So, like, in my opinion, right, your Padilla, is it Padilla or Padilla? Sorry, I know two different guys with the same spelling but pronounced different. Taco, in my opinion, rounds 1 through 3, I think Taco did enough to win. I think the volume, the aggression, I think he won, bro. I mean, he wasn't like beating up Maderos, but Maderos was pretty much running away. He landed some great elbows, and when he would land, he would hurt Taco. I don't know why he had a good power coming from his strikes. I just don't know why he wasn't confident enough to just stand and bang. It could have just been, maybe Taco just wasn't giving him the space. I don't know, but in the third round, he really started to find his footing and start putting it on Taco more. Unfortunately, he did get that point deduction, right? The fight ends after the third round. The judges, it's a unanimous decision from what I heard. I could have sworn they said unanimous decision on Taco, right? After he gets his fight, they offer him a fight bonus. It was a great fight. You guys got to watch that. Just textbook, just Chris Padilla just walking forward with his hands up. The thing with Taco is he's actually low-key really good at his defense. If you watch his fights, he's good at putting his hand like right at the right spot before the target actually meets him. And the thing with MMA gloves, it's like you have to catch it a certain way, or otherwise you're not going to catch it, bro. And he's like really perfected that long guard and defending with the MMA gloves. It's really beautiful. He put him he put his Maderos in the tie clinch a few times, would knee him and elbow him. It was textbook, just Muay Thai striking. But yeah, after this fight ended, like literally, I want to say I didn't see the fight live, but I just remember logging on and seeing Taco put out a statement. The freaking judges overturned the decision. They overturned the decision and they made it a majority draw, I believe. right? So I don't know, man. That's interesting because to me, I had him winning 3 rounds, right? Just off technique, 1 through 3, I think he won. But then you also got to take into account the fact that Maderos got that point taken away. I don't understand how he could have came back from that. That's like you're losing off points and then you also get a point taken away. I don't know. But somehow the judges gave it to, they made it a draw. That's interesting. So, Florida, baby. What do you got to say? Yeah, so as far as I know, I think Taco's gonna try to fight this. So we'll see. I hit him up. I sent him a DM. I'm curious to know more details about this. So hopefully, I have more news for you guys. And the next episode, maybe I can break it down for you guys. Next fight, Matus Gamrot versus Ivan Ribovics. Freaking Gamrot. We like Gamrot. I like watching him fight. He's super great grappler. He's got decent hands, decent power. It's his wrestling that is insane, though. He's got I don't know. He's got that I don't know much about wrestling, but there's that style where you attack the waist and you kind of almost like judo throw him over, right? Is that Greco-Roman or something? I don't know, but he has that style and it works well, bro. Once he gets you against that style works really well when you get people against the fence, bro. Honestly, like once you clench them up against the fence, you can just toss them over and get on top of them quickly, bro. It's beautiful, right? But yeah, this fight was a reminder that if you don't I'm sorry. Let me get into some of these stats, baby. Let me get into the stats. All right. So we got Gamrot. He's coming in at number 5. This was let's see, where am I? All right. So we got Charles Oliveira. He lost. That was his last fight. Obviously, you see what happened in this fight, right? And then then he lost to Dan Hooker, 5th round. By decision. Okay. I gotta watch that fight. When was that? 2024? I gotta watch that fight. I'm curious to see how that went down. But yeah, the last fight I can remember was to Oliveira, bro. And Oliveira's no slouch, baby. So Gamrot, I've always liked Gamrot. Even though I'm not big on the wrestling, I'm not a hater on the wrestling. It's like I'll watch exciting wrestlers and I'll root for them if they're exciting. But yeah, that's the level that it's gonna. The Dan Hooker one's trippy, right? The Dan Hooker one's kind of like a little iffy, but for the most part, that's the level that that Gamrot's performing at, right? He's losing to to Charles Oliveira pretty much only, right? And Hooker. Hooker's not a slouch too either, though. I'm not trying to disrespect Hooker, bro. I'm sorry. But yeah, this fight was a reminder that if you don't have elite takedown defense, Gamrot is a nightmare, baby. Ribovics came in and dude, honestly, he was just trying to stay in Gamrot's face in the first round, but that's honest. That wasn't the best move for Ribovic. I honestly, when I saw that first round, I was like, why is he just in Gamrot's face? I thought one of two things. I was like, either this fool's got really great takedown defense or he's just not playing a smart game. And it ended up being the latter. He was not playing a smart game. He literally, I think he threw a kick in round 1 and Gamrot grabbed the leg and just off the single took him down and was basically on top of him the whole first round. The second round, Ribovic's corner was literally shouting at him right when the bell rang. No kicks. You know what happens? Like literally 30 seconds into the second round, freaking Ribovics throws a kick. He throws a kick, nothing happens. He's like, okay, cool. He throws like 1 or 2 more kicks, gets taken down. Right? And that's pretty much how the whole fight went, dude. I assumed it would just be like Gamrot grabbing Ribovic, taking him down, and then Ribovic couldn't do anything about it. But yeah, let me see, where am I at? But yeah, Gamrot, he pretty much dominated Ribovics, man. It looked like Ribovics looked like a fish out of water once it came to the grappling department, right? Where am I at? I skipped so far ahead because I knew I remembered what I wrote, so I just was kind of going straight into it. But yeah, man, I mean, Gamrot, he basically just I think, what round was it? Was it round 2? I think in round 2, Gamrot takes he took Ribovic down. He eventually worked his way to the back. He transitioned to a Darce, and Ribovic was forced to tap, dude. And it's kind of funny because he chokes out Ribovic, and after the fight's over, Ribovic gets up all upset, dude. And he's not mad at Gamrot. It's like he's upset with himself for losing, I guess. But I'm like, dude, what did you expect, bro? You did the same thing for both rounds, and you had the same results. It's like that first round, you should have been like, all right, clearly he's a better grappler than me. Let me not do that. Let me not go to the ground, But whatever, it is what it is. I mean, I feel It sucks. It is what it is. But Gamrot back, baby. Let's see what's next for Gamrot. Next fight. Oh, this is a good one. This whole card was stacked, bro. But Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. Kevin Holland, he's the number 15. He's ranked number 15. He's coming in with a 27-11 record. Randy Brown, he's coming in with a 19-6 record. This was a tall boy special, baby. Let me freaking get the stats for this. All right. The only stats I could find are this UFC game stats that was on YouTube. I don't want to make this, dude. I don't want to make this, and I'm not trying to spend too much time on doing all that. But here are the stats, though, bro. Let's check this out. We got they're both 6'3", bro. They're both exactly 6'3", same weight. Reaches in Kevin Holland's favor. I hope this is accurate. I think this has got to be accurate, right? It's from the game. But yeah, Kevin Holland, he's coming in. He's got a 28-15-0. Randy Brown's got a 27-0 record. This fight was tight, bro. I wanted to see this fight just because I like Kevin Holland. He's cool. I think he's had like 29 fights in the UFC already, right? Very active fighter. Very exciting fighter. I mean, he's funny. He'd be talking that smack, bro. But yeah, usually Kevin Holland, bro, he is the one with the reach advantage. But Randy Brown matched him inch for inch, baby. Holland, this guy struggled early with the distance, bro. I think both fighters were just not used to fighting someone the same height because I felt like even at the beginning, Brown was like I feel like Brown had a easier time. Holland at first. Holland was kind of like throwing a lot of low kicks, like feeling out attacks, and a few of them were missing, right? So, but yeah, but eventually, bro, those low kicks started to land, and that absolutely trashed Brown's lead leg, bro. By the end of round 1, Brown was limping, bro. Kevin freaking dropped him. I think was this round 1? I can't remember, but Kevin drops him, jumps onto the ground. Oh yeah, it was round 1. Yeah. So towards the end of round 1, I think it was, Kevin, he drops him, gets on top of Brown. Brown is freaking flailing around, bro. He throws an up kick. I think the up kick actually cut Kevin's face. And dude, from the bottom, Brown he's actually a really good fighter from the bottom, dude. He was attacking with submissions, he was attacking with punches from elbows, from his back. Dude, it was like very Randy Couture from the bottom, bro. It's cool. I liked it. I like seeing that stuff. I don't like when people just like hold on and they're just waiting for the ref to separate it. It's like he was active on the bottom. He landed some good elbows, and there was like a triangle attempt that didn't get too far, but I mean, he threw it out there as an armbar attempt. It was cool stuff, man. Like cool stuff to see from the bottom. Yeah, that's that like I'm gonna win attitude. Like, and even if it's hard for it to sink it's a great as a defense because now your opponent, it's like kind of being more cautious. You know what, dude? Here, I'm gonna take another smoke. But yeah, round 2 was the big mouth show, baby. Holland was talking that trash. I don't know if it happened in round 1. I didn't notice it. But round 2, he was like screaming at him. It was cool. He was just, he was having a good time. And he almost finished. He almost finished Brown, bro. He got Brown to the ground. It was kind of quick how it happened. Like I think Brown came in with his head a little low, and Kevin just jumped on his neck from the standing and brought him to the ground. Had him in like a Darce choke. And honestly, he was squeezing freaking hard. I thought it was going to end, but Brown held on. He did not tap, and he made it. He made it to the 3rd round. I was surprised, and I honestly thought that. I was like, damn, dude, I wonder if Kevin's gassed his arms out from squeezing all that, right? Because he was squeezing hard, bro. I think the 3rd round, it did show that his arms were a little bit more tired because the round slowed down a lot. There's a lot more clenching. But, Holland's volume and those early low kicks that he basically secured early on in like round 1 and 2, it's like you started to see them pay dividends in round 3 because, Brown just was slowing down. His leg was beat up. He couldn't move. But yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight, right? That 3rd round was, I think all 3 rounds Kevin won. Honestly, I think all 3 rounds Kevin won. So it was still a good fight to watch, though, especially watching like these big ass fools fight. So, anyways, Kevin Holland, he secures the dub. This was unanimous decision. Great fight. I believe he won all 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, let's move on to this next fight. This is a big fight right here. All right, all right. So this next fight we had was a retirement fight, baby. The old dogs are leaving. The guys I started watching the UFC with, the guys sorry, faded. The guys that I used to watch when I first started watching the UFC, they're leaving, man. This was the Legends Last Stand right here, man. Cub Swanson versus Nate Landhaar. Cub Swanson, bro, he's literally like the last in his class to continue to fight, But yes, Cub Swanson, he's coming in. He's got a 30-14 record. That's a crazy record. Versus Nate Landwehr with the 18-7 record. Man, if you did not have goosebumps for this fight, you aren't a fight fan. Cub Swanson, 42 years old. The last of the WEC legends stepping in for this retirement fight. For those of you that don't know, the UFC, did I mention this earlier on the MMA? I don't know, remember. I probably mentioned this in a different podcast. But the UFC at one point, they had bought WEC, right? They bought WEC and they bought, I think it was Strikeforce. They bought them at the same time. One of the fighters that came from that WEC era was Cub Swanson. And if you don't know this era, you guys should go check it out. Go watch these fights in the UFC because those WEC guys were actually better than a lot of the UFC guys. You had Cowboy Cerrone come in, Clay Guida, Cub Swanson, Jose Aldo, just guys that were in the top 10 and guys that were champions. It was actually kind of interesting because that was one of the rare times where you saw another promotion had better quality fighters, right? But I don't think that's true today because the UFC has gone so much bigger at this point and they just get the baddest people on earth now. But yeah, this was Cub Swanson's retirement fight, man. And it was a trip to see. I knew it was coming eventually, but it happened and it's here and, and it's all right, bro. It's all right. We'll be okay, guys. Nate the Train did not care about the storyline though. He came out with high guard, Muay Thai stance. He really tried to bully the veteran. Cub Swanson, he fought like he was 25 that night, bro. He had his hands low. Head movement was on point, bro. He looked good, bro. His abs looked very lean. He looked like he took this fight very seriously, bro. And dude, he just was unloading bombs, bro. And honestly, I think Cub's last fight, I think he didn't do bad his last fight either. I can't remember who he fought off the top of my head. But yeah, dude, Cub Swanson was landing bombs. He got a long reach, and he has very good boxing. Basically, like he was able to back Nate up against the fence and he let his hands go, bro. He dropped Nate twice, bro. He hit him. I think he dropped him. He got up and then dropped him almost immediately again, dude, if I'm not mistaken. You can see that Landwehr was just trying to survive after that, bro, honestly. But Cub did not let him go, bro. He landed a beautiful cross that put Nate away for good over the top. It's kind of the knockout was kind of cool how it happened. So he hits Nate. I think it was like an overhand, drops him, and Nate's trying to get up, but his head's all like low. And he throws like an uppercut. Cub Swanson kind of stands over him with his hands out like this, right? And I think I don't know if he's just trying to glow or trying to see if the ref's gonna stop it, right? But he sees Nate trying to get back up, and he throws. It looked like he tried to throw a shot to the side, but it kind of went to the back of Nate's head, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, that cross basically put Nate out for good, regardless. And I mean, honestly, like the ref could. I was kind of like on the fence at first when he stopped it. I was like, did the ref stop that early? But then. But then like literally a half second later, you see Nate, he's like wrestling with the ref because he just doesn't even know what's going on. The ref gets between the two, and then you see like Nate grabbing him, trying to get back up. So in my opinion, I think that just shows that he was out, not like out, but he just wasn't able to defend himself properly. He didn't know who his opponent was, So it was a good fight, and Cub Swanson, he's taking the gloves off and you see him fight back. Tears, bro. It almost made me cry, bro. It pulled out my heartstrings. When they take out the gloves in the ring and, it's their last fight and you start, thinking of all the fights they had in the past. And, you really got to see, like, Cub Swanson's 42 years old, bro. You really got to see him, like, enter his adulthood life, man, on TV. And it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, that was a cool all-time UFC moment. I saw these fights afterwards. I saw them this morning. I don't know if they gave him a proper send-off with, like, the whole videos and stuff, just because I literally, like, would skip all the BS just to get to the fights, So, not to say that's BS. I'm sorry. But anyways, Cub Swanson. Shout out Cub Swanson. He's a SoCal native. He trains out here in, I think he's somewhere in Costa Mesa. He's out here in Orange County, so it's cool, man. My jiu-jitsu coach is actually friends with him. They used to train together. So... That's pretty cool, man. Maybe one day, I'll run into him and maybe I'll get to get an interview, baby. But yeah, moving on. All right, next fight we're gonna talk about. This guy's a controversial guy right here, bro. He's very weird and controversial, but you know what? This dude, he does show up and he freaking walks the walk. You know who I'm talking about, baby? I'm talking about Josh Hacket versus Curtis Blaydes. Josh Hacket, if you don't know who Josh Hacket is, he's that dude. If I'm not mistaken, he was a football player. I think he played for the San Francisco 49ers. He then went over to Bellator. He actually did not bad in Bellator. He had an undefeated record. I think he went he did like 6-0 in Bellator, if I'm not mistaken, like 6-0 or 4-0, something like that. He eventually makes his way to the UFC. He had a debut fight, KO of the night. And then now I think actually he had two. I think is this his second or third fight in the UFC? I can't remember, but it's like his second or third fight in the UFC. He stepped up to Curtis Blaydes. He pretty much walks through all of his opponents. He's a heavy wrestler. I think he also trained wrestling in like high school or college, right? But he doesn't really wrestle, bro. Honestly, he just boxes the crap out of people. He hits freaking hard and he's fast, dude. He's fast and he hits hard. He doesn't really use his wrestling too much, not from what I've seen, but he does use it defensively. But yeah, he's stepping up and fighting Curtis Blaydes. Man, this guy Josh Hacket, you guys got to watch some of his stuff, man. I'll post some of it, like clips from his I don't even know what to call it. He has a character, I guess. He's like in a WWE,
Alex Pereira. Showing these nuts to the Miami Mamacita. My bathwater tastes like a sweet margarita. So what is there not to like? When I pick up the mic, a puppy comes back to life. When it's time to get litty, you know I can get jiggy. My electric slide can power this whole damn city. I'm the ouch that runs his mouth and wears dirty shoes in your house just to say, fuck yo couch. I toot my own horn and beat my own drum. You think you can beat me in a fist fight? Boy, is you dumb.
So he has this like WWE character. He's got like he wears like a beanie or something. I don't know. He wears a do-rag. He's got like these big glasses and he talks like he's a WWE wrestler. It's kind of cringe, actually. I'm not even gonna lie. It's funny and cringe at the same time, but he kind of takes it too far. Dude, he takes it too far. It does get cringy and annoying super quickly, right? You already know Curtis Blaydes wanted to take this guy out. He was like, F this guy. He's not professional. He doesn't take this seriously. I'm going to hurt him. He wanted that, and it showed in this fight. But yeah, Josh Hacket, he's coming in. He had 8-0, so this is an updated record. I think all these records, I accidentally updated. So remove one fight or loss. I'm not going to go through and fix it all. My bad. I normally, when I'm doing the stats, because I normally do like these videos the day after, so the records get updated freaking quickly. So I always have to remember, he lost. So, subtract an L from his record. All he wants, subtract a dub, and that way it's accurate. But whatever. So Josh Hacket, he came in, he had an 8-0 record, and he's fighting Curtis Blaydes, who had a 19-5 record at the time. Dude, this was basically the WWE villain versus the gatekeeper, right? Because Curtis Blaydes is at this point, he is a gatekeeper. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. He's a cool guy though. He seems nice, but he is. Josh Hacket, man, he plays this annoying heel character like all the time. But man, this guy can fight, bro. This guy can fight. He came out with zero respect for Curtis Blaydes, man. He was landing bombs and dropping blades early in the first round, bro. Like, this dude freaking destroyed Curtis Blaydes in that first round, bro. For the first 4 minutes of the fight, he's dropping Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes is bleeding. It's just honestly, for that weight class, I think he's like light heavyweight, I think, right? Let me what did it say? I'm sorry, it's heavyweight. It's like right in front of me. I think I might need glasses now or something. I don't know, dude. But anyways, yeah, this was a heavyweight bout, man. And the heavier guys, it's like they don't have that speed or that volume that Josh Hacket has, bro. Josh Hacket, I don't know if it's because he was a football athlete before, and just that type of training just translates, or just something about him, right? Just genetics. But man, he's fast and he's powerful, and Blaydes was not ready, bro. He got, literally almost got taken out in that first round. The only thing that stopped Blaydes from going out was his will and his utter hate for Hacket, I believe. I believe he hated Hacket so much that he was like, I am not going to go down and I'm going to freaking win this fight. Blaydes, he was being a savvy vet, though. He shot an emergency takedown to survive the onslaught, and he actually got Hacket down. And but when Hacket got back up, he actually was pretty tired. Like he put out a lot of volume, and so I think that takedown and having to go up, it was enough of a pause for his body to finally like take in how tired he was. But yeah, he pretty much gassed himself out. And after that, it was all Curtis. The end of that first round was Curtis coming back, and it was an onslaught, bro. There was at one point where Curtis has him in like the collar clench, and he's just raining uppercuts on Hacket, bro. Overall, though, I think Hacket did more damage, and I think he did win that round for sure. But yeah, that rest of the fight was just a fight of willpower for Hacket. The first fight was a fight of willpower for Curtis Blaydes. The second was for Josh Hacket. It's funny because after I think it was after that takedown, Hacket gets up and he freaking shoots the middle finger to Blaydes, bro. He's like tired and he shoots the middle finger, bro. I'm telling you, that wrestling persona, it's everywhere, right? It's part of him at this point. But I mean, honestly, Blaydes kept landing these Hail Mary power shots, bro. He did. And the other thing, Blaydes was dominating in the clench. That was the one thing that stood out a lot, was when it came to the standing clench, Blaydes was freaking dominating with the uppercuts and elbows. But yeah, the whole rest of the fight was basically that, dude. It was basically the beginning of the fight. Hacket would put on the pressure, beat the crap out of Blaydes, and then get tired, and then Blaydes would start coming back, dude. That's basically it was so exciting, bro. The fight was, I mean, there was zero technique, absolutely zero technique. Got to the point where they were just both throwing singles. That's the thing with Hacket, though, is before he gets tired, what he does really well is he chains his attacks very well. Like, and you can tell that he's not like, doesn't have the most technique, and he's not like doesn't have the most fight IQ, because it's like he'll throw, like there was at one point where he threw a cross and then he threw a right elbow, and he just kept throwing right elbows from that position, right? And kept spamming just the same side. So it was more of just like tenaciousness rather than actual technique and understanding of the fight game. But it's cool because look, that translates, right? It's like as he continues, he starts getting better techniques. Instead of just spamming that same elbow from the same distance, he'll start like throwing that elbow, push him back and like get a little distance, throw that elbow again, It's like these little adjustments that I think will help him a lot in his fight career. But it was a good fight, bro. It was a war. The heavyweights, you don't see heavyweights fight like that. First of all, they just don't. They usually go down way before that. One thing that stood out for me, though, that was landing really good for Curtis was jabs. He would throw just straight jabs down the middle, and it seemed to be hurting Josh Hacket. Josh Hacket would like eat one or two, though, and then kind of like go over the side and then kind of come over with his combinations. But I think if Curtis Blaydes had adjusted to just throwing jabs down the middle and moving his feet, jab, move out this way, jab, move out the way, I honestly think he could have won that fight off just jabbing and moving out the way. And when it came to more than just boxing, right? Like when Curtis Blaydes started throwing like kicks, he would like throw low kicks. They would land so beautifully. He would throw like a 1-2 and then like a low kick, and you would see Hackett's whole leg just kick out from him. Hackett, because like I said, he got into fighting a little bit later. He lacks some just basic awareness to certain things, like how to be aware when leg kicks are coming, how to defend the low kick, why you don't want to just put all that weight on the front leg, and if you do, after you eat one low kick, you got to adjust, stop doing that, right? I think if Blaydes had got more, he needed some distance. Hackett with just a lot of pressure, like to be in your face. I think if Blaydes was able to, create that distance with the jab, and then work that combination into his low kicks, he probably could have won the fight. But I think you guys can tell who won, judging off of what I said. Josh Hacket, he gets a unanimous decision. Freaking absolute banger. Curtis Blaydes' face just beat up and mauled, bloody everywhere. It was a great fight. All right, and moving on to the main card. I didn't even realize we're already at the main card, bro. I really made these short compared to how long I normally make these. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how people are going to respond to that. Maybe they like when I go in depth and detail. I don't know, dude. But main event, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I probably am not. Let me. All right, baby. Here we are. I pull this little freaking picture up for you guys just so I don't have to do it in posts later, and makes my life a little bit easier, just a little bit quicker to get these out. But yeah, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. Jiri's coming in. He's ranked at the number 2 fighter in light heavyweight. He's got a 35-1 record. Carlos Ulberg, he's the number 3 in light heavy. He's got a 12-1 record. Man, little bit about a tidbit about the two, right? Jiri, he's a good fighter. He's exciting. I liked watching him. He probably would have been champion had he never met Alex Pereira. He fought Alex Pereira twice, got knocked out both times by Alex Pereira. One time with the beautiful head kick. It was just like, dude, beautiful. I think it was like the first or second round, but he's a good fighter. Very different, not a traditional fighter. He trains very traditionally, but his fight style is very odd. He fights with his hands down. He does these weird movements. This is one thing I don't like about Jiri is he makes these weird unnecessary movements when he's going forward and backward. And when he swings, he turns his whole body over. It doesn't look good, but when it lands, it hurts. And I think because of how unorthodox it is, I think it's hard for his opponents to time like counters and things of the sort. Very aggressive fighter. He likes to be in your face. He likes to push the pace. Jiri is the type of dude where when you hurt him, he just comes forward more. Instead of like defending or coming up with the game plan, he just marches forward. It's kind of interesting. Can be good, can be bad, but that tenacity is what, makes it hard for people to deal with, Yeah, dude, that's the best way I could sum up Jiri. Odd, odd fighting style. Cool guy though, dude. He's like the way a samurai type dude. I think he went and lived in Japan for a while. For this camp, he went out to train in Mexico for a while, and it was during like that whole, like when the cartels were running amok just recently. He was like rock climbing, and it's funny because in the comments people were saying you should get out of Mexico. There's a war happening. Jiri's a cool guy though. He seems cool. Carlos Ulberg, what can I say about this guy, man? He's up and rising up, dude. He's from, I think, like around Australia area. He's been training with City Kickboxing, so that's like Israel Adesanya, Volkanovski, just all those guys right there. They have a good set of talent out there, so it's a good gym for him. Powerful guy, more of a traditional striker versus Jiri, right? This fight was wild, man. Jiri, he came out with samurai energy, hands down, bouncing, completely unpredictable. That's the thing. Jiri, he has this weird like bounce and like the way he slides in. It's kind of odd, bro. But whatever, it's cool to watch, I guess. Early on, Ulberg blew out his knee, dude. He was like backstepping and he blew it. It probably was like he probably injured it in camp, And he was hobbling on one leg, bro, like super early on. And Jiri was kicking his other leg too before it happened, so he was getting punished on his good leg, and then he messes up his back leg, which was his right leg. Jiri started pushing the pace, man. When Ulberg got hurt, Jiri was just all over him. But so he was all over him, but Jiri, like, I think he understood that something was wrong with Ulberg, and he was kind of like basically just standing in front of him, right? I think it was kind of like a soldier to soldier thing, like, oh, you're hurt, I'm not gonna just like use angles and beat you, He's like, I'll just stand in front of you and beat you. And that's the thing with freaking Jiri, right? He's unpredictable. He does these weird things, the way the Bushido type ish. He does things that are unnecessary, completely unnecessary all the time. And I think that's what stops him from being a champion. Honestly, he's a great fighter. He's number 2 guy, right? I think the thing that prevents him from having the belt is these unnecessary risks that he takes. Like Carlos Ulberg was hurt. He was damaged, bro. Like, dog, you could have had the easy victory, dude. All you had to do was dance around him, kick his leg, kick him in the face. Just don't get close to him. If you're just where his hands can't reach you, he can't kick you, right? There's a point where Ulberg tried to throw a kick and he fell because he didn't be supported on his back leg, So it's like, right off that, I'd be like, all right, I just stay on the outside, teep, low kick, teep, low kick, jab. I don't know, but Jiri was like, whatever, we'll stand and bang, and he just stood in front of freaking Ulberg, man. But yeah, Ulberg, man, he was hobbling. He couldn't support his own weight, bro. And Jiri kept punishing the leg, man. It looked like it was a wrap for Ulberg early on, bro. But, Carlos decided if he couldn't move, he was just going to swing, man. He would just stand and bang, baby. Jiri stepped into the pocket, and Ulberg on one good leg planted, and he threw just a nuclear cross, bro, that caught Jiri. It flushed, bro. Jiri went down, and literally Carlos got on top of him. He understood this is my only way to victory. Got on top and was freaking hammer fisting so freaking hard, bro. Like, you just see Jiri's head bounce. He was cool for a second when he went down. You could see he was coming to, right? But then after like the hammer fist started happening, bro, it was out, bro. Like, I don't know if he went out, but I meant like mentally he was out, right? The ref jumps in. Carlos Ulberg is your new champion, winning the belt with a blown knee. That unheard of. unfreaking heard of. Carlos Ulberg is the real deal. Jiri, freaking don't know. I freaking like Jiri. I like him as a fighter. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, dude. Like, man, he needs to get a new corner or something. He needs people that can control him. He needs to take things back to the basics. He needs to stop, get this whole warrior mentality out of his head. This is a freaking job. If you want to be the champion, you got to be the champ. Dude, you know, think of Musashi, bro. Was it Musashi, right? That Japanese samurai that wrote the book, the 10 Folds of Life or something. Super famous book. A lot of fighters read it. It's just this guy. His name was Musashi, I believe. He's just this legendary samurai that never lost a battle. I think he got his first unalive. He unalived someone when he was like 13 or something. This other samurai clan had basically went to the school and started taking over. And so to get away, Musashi had to basically fight this other man to the unalive. So one of them was unalive, right? He has a bunch of crazy stories, bro. He did that, and like he has a story where he fought a guy with a wooden sword and he beat him just with patience and stuff. And then he just wrote a book about like what his mindset is when it comes to winning fights and what it is to be a good soldier, right? He also went on to start a calligraphy school, which he got known for. He was into calligraphy. I think he was the guy that modernized using like art with fighting at that time, I guess, or made it a thing back then. I don't know, but I'm going on. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Obviously, the marijuana and the coffee are kicking in, baby. But yeah, what a night, guys! Freaking Ulberg is the new heavyweight champion. Cub Swanson is retired. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is next for Ulberg. And catch you guys on the next episode. California Sober Podcast, baby. Light.